So you're going to, again, to be wearing both hats, a hat of a teacher, a hat of a student. And right now I want you to turn into students. So have a look. Can you see the pictures? They clearly demonstrate life in the countryside. So in your breakout rooms, I want you to discuss three things.
While in the second picture, there is a man doing something in his maybe backyard.
That maybe even little kids have to work. They have to do a lot of physical work.
Okay, now I want you to change your hats and become teachers for a moment. And I want you to discuss why I haven't given the name of the project. Because why did I start with this task? Why speaking in a writing class?
Practicing writing skills, and it's a good idea to start with some lead-in activities when students may warm up a little bit. We may brainstorm ideas about the topic in general.
Before we look at the statistics, again, we'll go to breakout rooms, and can you discuss what potential difficulties students might have with this task? In CELTA, it's called anticipated problems.
I mean, just it's not in the chart. We already have problems in the chart, right? And they may feel like, it's an easy task because I already have all the problems. I can just pick one, any one, right?
This opinion on living in rural areas, and again, it's about students' personal opinion, and they tend to generalize. So
okay, now we go to breakout rooms again, and this time I want you to talk about paragraph 2 and 3 only.
Yeah. So, for example, if we don't mention poor employment opportunities at all, for example, because we had two facts about, I don't know, insufficient education, then poor infrastructure.
Sure, is a more common problem than insufficient education.
Not easy.
Not easy.
This is a very common task when I ask students to talk about the statistics. Even on our YIGA Clinic platform, there is this task where they have to record and explain the statistics. And that's how we can get some fluency in these more difficult structures. Students typically at school, they are not used to talking about the statistics. You see below, there is some space for each group. And write down your paragraph here. It's fine if we have 2 or 3 examples from each group is also fine.
So it's not the least, so it's insufficient.
Or if we compare it with poor employment, maybe we better write about the poor employment is more common.
Because this way it's very difficult. It doesn't sound logical at all, you know, if we use the idea that we discussed previously.
So the number of people who worry about poor employment opportunities is significantly higher than the percentage of the respondents who are concerned about and building up a career than on caring about health, which is regretful. Fine. You could have be a bit more economical with words. You just to put those. The number, then those. I want to challenge you a bit, like gap fill activities. When I give a model, but students still have to think about this model. Can you see it? I'll give you, let's say, 3-4 minutes in silence. You take your pens and paper. You don't write anything in the document. You put it with the number in your notebook.
I'm sorry, will you repeat number 2? What have you got there?
We are discussing it. We don't know. The data...
Oh, here the pie chart, right? So we can only use the pie chart in this very task.
But it's not about the task, as I understand. It's not about the task we have.
No, it is. Well, the figures are the same.
Yeah, so that would be the pie chart then.
If you feel many responses might be wrong, you just give the whole class feedback, provide an overview of, and you see what I would do, highlight the structures I really want my students to pay attention to. I probably may give them extra ideas about how to say the same things differently. You may take a sample, an example from the paragraph you just had, and ask students to express the same idea, but differently. For example, here we may say, an acute lack of jobs is the most common response given by the respondents. Right. So you may again hide some mistakes with different foci. Can be on spelling, on grammar, on content, on whatever.
Спасибо огромное.
Да, до свидания.
До свидания.